TV1 TV for life.
Good afternoon and welcome to Lunchtime News on TV1 for the News First team. I'm Rukmini De Silva. Let's start off with a look at the headlines. Vote on the Inland Revenue Amendment Bill today. Debate on the no confidence motion against the Health Minister continues. Vote on Friday. Heated situation in Parliament regarding new liquor licenses. Protest at the export processing zone against looting of employee funds. Applications for university admission to be called from the 14th of September. 32 civilians killed in airstrikes by Sudanese forces. In a headline-making story, a debate broke out in Parliament on Thursday morning over the issuing of liquor permits.
මුතුමා පොඩ්ඩක් හොයලා බැලුවොත් ඔය soft liquor permits මේ සමහර ගම් අස්සෙත් දීලා තියෙනවා. සංචාරක කර්මාන්තයේ ක්‍රියාත්මක
Soft liquor permits are available in certain villages where there is no tourist zone. It is clear that it was done in a bid to source funds ahead of the elections. Therefore, this is not a permit system that targets tourism promotion in the country. How many liquor bottles were seized by the Excise Department with fake stickers? What measures has the government taken in this regard?
විසින් අත්අඩංගුවට ගෙන තිබේ. එසේනම් මේ සම්බන්ධයෙන් රජය ගෙන ඇති පියවර කවරේද?
සංචාරක කලාපවලින් පිටත ලබා දීමේදී ප්‍රායෝගික ගැටලු මතුවලා තියෙනවා කතානායකතුමනි. බලපත්‍ර 3ක් මේ වෙනකොටත් අවලංගු කරලා
Practical issues have arisen when providing permits to areas not included in tourist zones. We have already terminated 3 permits. There are 3 ways to identify the fake stickers. 1. External features. 2. Security features. And 3. Forensic features. We have not released anyone who was arrested for this violation. The goods were not released as well. 52 million rupees was imposed as fines of yesterday for the bottles that were identified, and those fines needs to be paid before noon today.
තහවුරු කරගත් බෝතල් සඳහා දඩ නියම කරා. ඔවුන්ට දඩේ ගෙවන්න කාලය දුන්නෙත් අද දවස් 12ට පෙරේ දඩය ගෙවීමට ඔවුන්ට නියෝග කළා ගරු කතානායකතුමනි.
දැනට ව්‍යාජ ස්ටිකර් අඩංගු බෝතල් ගෙන
Bottles with fake stickers have been placed in Rajagiriya. There is an attempt to replace the fake sticker with the original. The Mendis distillery is collecting bottles with fake stickers and replacing them with bottles with the original sticker. 100,000 bottles have been seized. This sticker is a fraudulent document. They need to be prosecuted via the criminal law.
කතානායකතුමනි දඬුවම් කරන්න ඕන අපරාධ නීතියෙන්.
බණ්ඩාර එළිවිල ඊට පස්සේ බණ්ඩාරම අලු බොමුල්ල ඊට පස්සේ බණ්ඩාර
There are several areas in Bandaragama, Raigama and Millenia being given these permits. So if 5 new permits will be given to the Bandaragama electorate alone, this has never happened before.
ඉතිහාසයේ කවදාවත් තීච්ච නැහැ.
විරෝධතා එනවා නම්
3 permits have already been suspended. We are prepared to act on these objections.
සමහරු කතා කරනවා permit දෙන්න.
Some speak to us saying they will offer us with permits so that we join them. These permits are given to retain people and compensate for the losses of torching houses. We will not join in that manner.
ගෙවල් ගෙන තියපු මන්ත්‍රීවරුන්ගේ සංගමේ සමාජිකයෙක් හැටියට. දැන් චමින්ද මන්ත්‍රීතුමා
I am speaking as a member of the group of MPs who lost their homes to arson. MP Chaminda said that permits are given to compensate those incidents of arson. Houses were set on fire and MPs suffered losses. They must not level false allegations. These MPs have not received any permit as compensation. This is false. When such statements are made, they are made public. Please do not speak without knowing the truth.
මේ අහිංසක මන්ත්‍රීවරුන්ගේ ගෙවල් තියෙන තවත් එකක් ගිනි තියා ගන්න හදන්න එපා තමුන්නාන්සේලා.
එවැනි දේශපාලන කරුණු වෙනුවෙන් මේ
Permits were not given on political grounds.
කිමෙන් මේ සභාවට කියන්න කැමතියි.
The vote on the Inland Revenue Amendment Bill will be held on Thursday. The debate will be held from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. as decided during the party leaders' meeting held on Tuesday. The vote will be held thereafter. The Supreme Court determined that the Inland Revenue Amendment Bill can be passed in Parliament by a simple majority, and the determination was announced in Parliament on Tuesday by the Speaker. The no confidence motion against Health Minister Kehelia Rambukwala is being debated in Parliament on Thursday as well. The debate will be continued on Friday and the vote will be held on Friday evening. This no confidence motion against the Health Minister was tabled by the Samagi Janabalawegya.
කොවිඩ් අර්බුදය ගැන කීප සැරයක්
In 2020, we warned about the COVID pandemic, and it was disregarded. The government did not have funds to source the vaccines. Until they got vaccines, the government told the people to consume the Dhammika tonic. You also consumed it in parliament.
තිබෙන්නේ
ආයුර්වේද බෙහෙතක් ආයුර්වේදයට අගෞරව කරන්න එපා.
ඔබතුමා කියන්න මට පස්සේ ඒකේ රහ කොහොමද කියලා මන් දන්නේ නැහැ තෝෂෙම. ඒක පස්සේ කියන්නකෝ. ඉතින් ඒ වගේ
මීපැණි බිව්වට අගුණ
එළනිකකට මුට්ටි දැම්මා. වතුර බදලා
Pots were thrown in the Kalani River. Such was the response by the government to the issue. Then it was handed over to Minister Keheliya Rambukwalla when the COVID pandemic was at its peak. However, my question is that public faith on the free healthcare system has collapsed. Medicines are imported from unregistered firms. So does the NMRA have the power to say no when a directive to import in such a manner is given?
එන්නේමාරයකට බලයක් තියනවද ප්‍රතික්ෂේප කරන්න.
ඒකට කරුණු ඉදිරිපත්
Facts can be presented for the rejection.
ඉදිරිපත් කරත හැකියි.
අමාත්‍යාංශලේ ඒක නියෝගය දුන්නාම එන්නේමාරයකට බලයක් නැහැ ඒක ප්‍රතික්ෂේප කරන්න. ඒකයි මේ ප්‍රශ්නවලට පුළු.
මේකේ කමිටි එකක් තියෙනවා.
There is a committee, and that committee gives the approval to import the medicines. Dr. Ananda, who you quote, was in fact removed from the committee. Do not act on the advice of the person who was removed. Consult a proper expert.
ඒ අයින් කරපු එක්කෙනාගේ උපදෙස් අරගෙන කටයුතු කරන්න එපා කියන එක මම කියනවා. ගන්න හරි කෙනෙක්ගේ.
එතුමාගේ පිළිතුරු කතාව ඒවා කියන්න අරින්න. නමුත් මගේ තර්කය මේකයි.
He can say those in his reply to the House. This is my argument. His facts are not relevant to my position. When the Ministry Secretary gives a directive to the NMRA, they cannot reject it.
එන්නේමාරයකට බලයක් නැහැ ඒක ප්‍රතික්ෂේප කරන්න.
In other local news, university teachers leaving the country has created a serious issue in the higher education sector. The Rajarat University Teachers Association said the entire university system is facing a crisis due to this situation. Our economy collapsed as a result of the wrong policies. As a professional trade union, we stopped our fight and gave a chance for the government and supported them for a specific period of time for them to rebuild this economy. But they have not kept their promises, and steps are being taken that would destroy the university education system.
ඒ ආකාරයෙන් ඉෂ්ට නොවන තත්වයක් යටතේ අපි දකිනවා ශ්‍රී ලංකා විශ්වවිද්‍යාල පද්ධතියම යම් ආකාරයක බිඳ වැටීමක ලක්වන ආකාරයේ කටයුතු ක්‍රියාමාර්ග දැන් ඉදිරියට යමින් තියෙනවා. අසාධාරණ ප්‍රතිපත්තිය නිසා රාජ්‍ය විශ්වවිද්‍යාල
Because of the unfair tax policy, a negative impact has been made on the university system. Usually, the Rajarata University's medical faculty has one lecturer for 7 students. But now only one lecturer is there for 17 students. In the faculty of science, one lecturer is needed for 10 students. But now that too is one lecturer for 15 students. Meanwhile, now another proposal is being made to impose a 30% tax on EPF and ETF. So do you think the people will remain in this country?
30ක බද්දක් ලබා ගැනීම. ඉතින් මේ ආකාරයෙන් ගත්තාම ඔබතුමාලා හිතන්නේ මේ රටේ මිනිස්සු ඉඳීවිද මේක.
A protest took place on Thursday morning against the unnecessary influence on the EPF and ETF by the domestic debt optimization process. The protest took place opposite the entrance to the Katunayake export processing zone.
Convener of the National Trade Union Centre, Vasanta Samarasinghe, said public representatives should not contribute to looting voters' funds.
The
Rajapakshas, including Ranil Wickremesinghe, have brought an amendment bill to Parliament to loot the employees' fund with a 122 majority. If MPs are trying to vote for the biggest robbery in this country, you are also contributing to the looting of your voters' funds. Do not forget that.
Several trade union leaders also expressed their views.
මේ මංකොල්ල කන්න හදන්නේ මේ රටේ වැඩ කරන ජනතාවගේ ලේ.
They are trying to loot the working class of this country. Even if the government passes this forcefully, the people of this country will not allow it. You won't be able to stop the struggle outside.
ඇරෙම්බෙට එක වළක්වන්න බෑ. රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහලාට
These aren't big issues to Ranil Wickremesinghe and Dinesh Gunawardena. Dinesh Gunawardena said Ranil Wickremesinghe is a central bank thief. They are both trying to loot from the employees' fund together. The Rajapakshas are also trying to support the looting of workers. If you are trying to become kings by looting the workers, do not return to the village after supporting it.
News first with the people.
The University Grants Commission says that applications will be called for university admission related to the 2022 A-level examination from the 14th of September. UGC Chairman Senior Professor Sampath Amaratunga said the university applications should be sent via email.
You can only apply online. When doing so, obtain a copy and send it via registered post as well. Then if there are legal or other issues, it can be resolved.
The
UGC said university admission manuals have been released and can be obtained from the UGC office or bookstores registered with the UGC or at regional level. It can also be obtained through mail order or downloaded through the website of the University Grants Commission. The UGC said 45,000 students are expected to be selected to the National University System. Multiple areas were battered by heavy rains in recent days.
During the past 24 hours, the highest rainfall was recorded from Moralia of the Kegal district with 114.3 millimeters of rain. Vogan Estate in Matugama recorded 70.3 millimeters of rainfall. A sluice gate of the Kukuleganga reservoir was opened this morning due to the heavy showers. And 30 cubic meters per second of water is being released to the Kudaganga. The Bulat Sinhala Molkava main road is inundated in Dambana and Atabegas Handya as a result of the Kudaganga overflowing. The Department of Irrigation said the Nilvala River has also reached minor flood level in Talgahagoda. The Irrigation Department informed the public to remain vigilant when using water from Nilvala, Ging and Kalu rivers. Sri Lanka Navy and the Hambantota Maritime Rescue Coordinating Centre has informed the fishing community not to set out to sea from the Hambantota Fisheries Port. The warning was issued for the 5th consecutive day on Thursday the 7th, citing rough seas. In Kohalankala, Hambantota was also inundated by heavy rains. The landslide warnings that were issued for 5 districts due to heavy rains was extended once again on Wednesday the 6th evening. Landslide warnings were issued to the Ratnapura, Kalutara, Kegal, Gaul and Kandy districts.
The Met Department said that showers or thunder showers will occur at times in western Sabaragamuwa and the northwestern provinces, also in Kandy, Nuwara and Gaul and Matara districts. Fairly heavy showers above 50 mm are likely at some places in western and Sabaragamuwa provinces and in Puttalam, Gaul and Matara districts. A few showers may occur in Mana and Hambantota districts and in the north-central province. Fairly strong winds of above 40 to 45 km per hour can be expected at times in western slopes of the central hills, northern, north central and northwestern provinces and in Trincomalee and Hambantota districts.
Due to the prevailing arid weather conditions in some areas, the people are facing drinking water issues. Locals from the Nikahina village in Madirigiriya in the Polonnaruwa district are severely burdened as they are unable to fulfill their daily water needs. News First correspondent said the Nikahina river has completely dried up. The people of the Peramadu village in Kantale are also affected by the water shortage. The villagers said the water sources have dried up due to the arid weather that has been experienced for many months. Vegetables are grown in greenhouses in the area and they are also at risk of being destroyed. In other local news, the father of 3 died following a wild elephant attack in the Diabadum area in Polonnaruwa early on Thursday morning. A 46-year-old father of 3, a resident of Katukaliava in Diabaduma, has lost his life following a wild elephant attack. News First correspondents noted that the deceased was a former Navy sailor and was attacked by a wild elephant while he was engaged in fitness exercises this morning. The villagers said that it has become a challenge to avoid being attacked by wild elephants that roam from the Giritale Forest Reserve. An animal exchange program between Czech Republic and Sri Lanka saw 7 new animals reach the island nation. 4 ringtail lemurs and 3 emu birds were brought to Sri Lanka on Wednesday evening from the Czech Republic. Emus are large flightless birds resembling and related to ostriches. They are native to Australia. The birds moved to Sri Lanka around 4 months old. Ringtail lemurs are named for the 13 alternating black and white bands that adorn their tails and are a threatened species that live in southwestern Madagascar. Sri Lanka received 2 male ringtail lemurs aged 2 years and 2 female ringtail lemurs aged 11 years. The animals were moved to Sri Lanka as part of an exchange program between the Czech Republic and Sri Lanka. These animals will be placed in quarantine for a month at the Vagola Pinnavala Zoo, and thereafter they will be on display for the public at the same premises. Sri Lanka is set to assume the chairmanship of the Indian Ocean Rim for the years 2023 to 2025.
Sri Lanka will assume the chairmanship of the Indian Ocean Rim Association for the period 2023 to 2025 at the forthcoming 23rd Council of Ministers meeting hosted by Sri Lanka on the 11th of October in Colombo. This is the second time that Sri Lanka will assume the IORA chairmanship, having previously served as the chair from 2003 to 2004. The Indian Ocean Rim Association is the only intergovernmental regional forum that brings together 23 littoral states of the Indian Ocean, and Sri Lanka is a founding member of the association. Sri Lanka has chosen strengthening regional architecture, reinforcing Indian Ocean identity as the theme for its chairmanship of IORA. Minister of Foreign Affairs of the 23 member states and the 11 dialogue partners of their representatives and senior officials are expected to attend the Indian Ocean Rim Association Council of Ministers and Committee of Senior Officials meetings in Colombo in October 2023. The member states of the Indian Ocean Rim Association, Australia, Bangladesh, Comoros, France, India, Indonesia, Iran, Kenya, Madagascar, Malaysia, the Maldives, Mauritius, Mozambique, Oman, the Seychelles, Singapore, Somalia, South Africa, Sri Lanka, Tanzania, Thailand, the United Arab Emirates and Yemen. The dialogue partners are China, Egypt, Germany, Italy, Japan, the Republic of Korea, the Russian Federation, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, the United Kingdom and the United States of America. The primary objectives of the Indian Ocean Rim Association are to promote regional economic integration, enhance trade and investment, facilitate sustainable development and strengthen maritime safety and security, and it focuses on several priority areas including maritime safety and security, trade and investment facilitation, fisheries management, disaster risk reduction, academic and scientific cooperation, tourism and cultural exchanges, and women's economic empowerment.
The Sri Lanka and Australia Chamber of Commerce unveiled an initiative that promises to further strengthen the long-standing friendship between Sri Lanka and Australia.
A journey of exploration, an exhilarating series of events is set to unfold as the Chamber expects to host the high-profile Australian Trade Delegation 2023. The series of events is expected to be a captivating blend of exploration, cultural immersion and economic collaboration designed to forge stronger bonds between the two nations. The Australian Trade Delegation 2023 will include a distinguished roster of 11 representatives, including notable figures from the Aboriginal Economic Development Group, the Victoria State Government and other prominent business entities. The delegation is led by Sarah Stewart, Director of the Aboriginal Economic Development Group. With avenues of exploration spanning food, textile and IT, the delegates are poised to engage in transformative interactions that have the potential to reshape economic landscapes. The week-long event will feature a series of exciting events exploring growth opportunities. The delegation will participate in discussions on mutual expansion prospects during sessions at the Export Development Board. Divi Savya, the second leg of the Divi Savya program to provide much needed school books and stationery items to school children in Sri Lanka. 8th of September, Kabitigollava.
Dai Daruwange Anagate Venuwen Divi Savya, LOLC Prajasatkara Mehevara.
Japan's moon sniper mission blasted off on Thursday as the country's space program looks to bounce back from a string of recent mishaps.
Only the United States, Russia, China and since last month India have successfully landed a probe on the moon with 2 failed Japanese missions, 1 public and 1 private. Watched by 35,000 people online, the HIIA rocket lifted off early on Thursday from the southern island of Tanegashima, carrying the lander which is expected to touch down on the lunar surface in early 2024. To cheer and applause at mission control, the SLIM moon probe and the XRISM space research satellite developed within the US and the European Space Agencies both separated soon afterwards. According to foreign media, the launch had already been postponed 3 times because of bad weather. The smart lander for investigating moon, SLIM, is nicknamed the Moon Sniper because it is designated to land within 100 meters of a specific target on the surface. That is much less than the usual range of several kilometers.
At least 32 civilians were killed and dozens injured in artillery strikes by the Sudanese army on Tuesday, one of the highest tolls from a single day of fighting since conflict broke out in April. Rights activists and residents say the regular army and the paramilitary rapid support forces that are fighting for control of the country have fired missiles into populated areas. Inspirational captain Chamariyatapattu led the way yet again as Sri Lanka's women's team created history on Wednesday by recording their first ever series triumph over England in any format.
On Saturday, the 2nd of September, the Sri Lanka women's team reached a milestone after clinching their first T20 win against England and levelling the 3-match series. Building on their success, the women's team put on another remarkable performance last night. They won the 3rd T20 and recorded a historic first ever series victory over England in the final match of the series in Derby. Batting first, England's women's team were bowled out in 19 overs with no significant contribution from either player in the England camp. For Sri Lanka, Chamariyatapattu claimed 3 wickets for 21 runs while Udeshika Prabodhini and Kavisha Dilhari bagging 2 wickets each. The Lankans made easy work of their target of 117 as they won the tie with 3 overs to spare, losing only 3 wickets. Chamariyatapattu was the chief destroyer once more with the brilliant knock of 44 runs from 28 balls, a knock which included 5 fours and 2 sixes. Chamariyatapattu was named as the player of the match and the player of the series because of the charismatic performance.
They have been waiting for this moment for a very long time and we achieved it. We hope to win more games in the future for Sri Lanka. It was an honour to play in the presence of Sri Lankan spectators overseas. We have experienced players in the team and their support was instrumental in this win. Chamari played a great role and led with great captaincy.
They played well and they had good confidence with them. This was a historic win. The victorious Sri Lanka women's cricket team shares their victory with the fans as well.
That's a wrap of the lunchtime news. Join us again at 9 p.m. for prime time news on TV1.